everybody? It's your man E. Glaze. It's the Crush on location as the Atlanta Dream take on the Las Vegas Aces. With me as always is my guy Mace. What's happening, Herb?
I'm doing good, brother. What's happening?
Hey man, I saw Pops and Bro here today, man.
It's a family affair.
It's family affair.
Family
today.
affair.
Hey man, I told y'all this guy will pop up every now and then.
We have to have him.
The Coach Lewis Preston. How you doing, Coach?
I'm just trying to come in here and just be a little bit of a sounding board today with two experts over here.
He used that word loosely. We also got behind the scenes. We got production crews and all that. So today, guys, big game. They won 2 straight. They went to Minnesota, did what they had to do.
Big win.
So now they got 3 straight home games. This is the start of that 3-game streak, and they welcome in A'ja Wilson, our girl Tamara, and the Las Vegas and Bill Lambier and the Las Vegas Aces.
He down there sitting on the bench chilling.
Yeah.
I
We
saw
saw him
him
doing some interviews earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, guys, we got a chance to do something. Going 19-10. This will be the best start or best record the Dream have ever had at this point in any time in their career. What do you see tonight, Mace? What are some of the keys that they would have to do in order to get this victory tonight?
I'll start with Tiffany Hayes, Player of the Month, Player of the Week, MVP consideration. Now she has actually, I think, the All-Star snub has actually kicked something extra into her. So she is playing unbelievable basketball. And again, Renee Montgomery, her controlling the pace, and Angel doing what she does in the fourth quarter, get us a victory.
You know, she's averaging around 17.7 points a game, Coach. This tip went on. I called it a statement game, even though they don't want to say statement. She went on Minnesota's floor, the place, not only of the current champions. That's what the All-Star game was held. She put up 28 points. She has been playing spectacular these last few weeks, Coach.
It's very simple. She's the best two-way player in the WNBA right now. Some people might argue that, but the one thing that really sticks out, and a lot of people don't talk about, is her lockdown defense. Yeah. And her defensive stats are just as comparable as what she's doing offensively for the Dream right now.
The Dream right now are hosting this game against Las Vegas tonight. They've been playing real well at home right now. Overall, they're 10-4 at home, guys. That's when they've been bread and their butter. Even though they also have 8-6 in a row, they are winning on both the road and at home. What has Coach Nikki done so far, Make Sure? Remember when they got to the 8-9 point, everybody was sitting around like, we don't know. Then they broke the 8 straight. Now they're 2 in the last 3. They're 10 of their last 11. What has she done to get this team going?
It's a word Coach uses all the time, buy-in. They've truly bought into her system. You can see some of the things that she kind of complained about early in the season, but she did it in a coaching way to teach the team. And now you can see that now that they see her system works, buy-in.
Coach is easily, in my opinion, and I'm not afraid to say it, Coach of the Year right now in the WNBA. Coach, from what you've seen from her coaching and her coaches that she have on the bench with her, what have they done to get this team tuned in and turning in the right direction?
First of all, it goes back to her defensive background. Defensively, their rotations have been some of the best. When you go from sideline to sideline and how they're able to build that 5-letter word, which defense proves, called trust. So if somebody's beating off the dribble, they know somebody's going to step up to help them. I think one of the most important things that Coach Collins done, as well as the staff, Coach Peterson is also Darius Taylor, they've done a great job of building great relationships with these players. And you can see it during the timeouts. You can see it in the huddles. You can see it in the pregame and postgame interviews. They have truly bought in, like Maceo said. I think the most important thing is winning, can cure a lot of ills. But one of the things was that she stayed the course throughout the course of the season, especially when they were 8-9, because a lot of times as a young coach, you might change some things, but she didn't change. She stayed true to who she was, and now they've had a lot of success with it.
Keep going with this team. We always talk about Tip. We talked about Angel a little bit and Renee. We got to give this front court some credit as well. Each night, they might not get the points. They might not get all the stats. But they're battling big-time players like Brittany Sykes, Mason. Tonight, they're facing one of the best rookies. I said freshmen, rookies in the game. And A'ja Wilson, she's coming in averaging 20 points a game. When you got two people like Elizabeth and Jessica who's anchoring, it makes it a lot easier for the others to play defense the way they need to.
Oh, without a doubt. And the signing of Jessica Breland was major. We saw it early in the season, but now that she's truly integrated in the system, it's total. I mean, total buy-in. Again, like I said, it's a word that Coach continues to use. She's been big. Elizabeth Williams, probably playing a little out of position, but you can't tell because she's so effective in these block parties, as we like to call them. I mean, the defense she's been playing has been outstanding. So definitely,
Yeah, every night, coach, they are playing some big that is either considered one of the best in the league, but they are playing the game the way it should be. They keep the paint, you keep you out the paint, make it hard for you to come in there. What are your thoughts on the bigs and
For me, well, for me being a former post player, it's beautiful to watch because I think one
You
of
had
the
outside shot too?
huh?
You had outside shot?
We'll talk about that later. But anyway, what they're doing offensively, they're making defenses have to pay attention to them, which is allowing Angel to have driving lanes, Tiffany Hayes to have driving lanes, when Brittany gets in the game to have driving lanes. So you cannot say enough about them. Defensively, they're just doing what they need to do, keeping their bodies between, their player and the basket, rebounding, and then, making the right decisions. We talk about Jessica Breland, how big her signing was in the all season. What she's done is she's made it much easier for all the guards to do what they're capable of doing and taking more chances. Once again, that 5-letter word of trust. When you get beat, somebody's able to rotate over, and they have great rotations, which leads to a lot of contested shots.
And you talk about trust, Mace. You have to talk about the trust Nikki puts in her bench.
oh yeah,
She brings in Alex, a great signing they did with Alex Bentley. You still got Imani playing great basketball. Monique comes in and gives you minutes. And you just be able to do what they're doing with those positions. Of course, we can't get our girl Brittany Sykes. You know what I'm saying? For what they've been able to do with that rotation they have coming off the bench. Trust is a big thing, and they're not playing over 30 minutes a game, which makes a big difference.
Right. We like to use the term depth, and this team has plenty of it. But when you have a six woman like Brittany, who can come in instant offense, but also lock you up defensively.
Right.
And we had on the show last week, and her buying into, a lot of times you would get a player like that who has so much athleticism, just know they can make all of these plays. They would usually kind of, gripe.
Mm-hmm.
She has taken her job, and she does it well. And I think with what she does, I think that makes this team even better because it's like, again, she would be a starter everywhere else.
Yeah.
But she's good with her role. And again, credit to Coach Collins.
Roles have been a big thing with this team, and that's always been something right now. And people like Imani, I always talk about, because coaching bigs yourself. Mm-hmm. She had to buy into being her role, which was being 6'7", coming in and disrupting and playing some of the bigs that she has. Mm-hmm. Just talk about what she's done for the front court since these last few weeks as well.
I think you really saw it. The way that she battled against Minnesota, the way she played in that game as well. I think what Imani's doing is starting to play to her size. I think one of the biggest surprises has been the way that Monique has come in throughout the course of the year, and you've had an opportunity to watch her grow, and watch how her game has evolved, and she's gone from, a rookie that's getting spot minutes to, there's been a couple times she's been the first big to come in, but once again, I think another great thing about this team, and we talk about depth, I think you talk about the variety of lineups they can put in. And now what's happening is, instead of you game planning for the opponent's having a game plan, and that's to your advantage. Yeah. We've seen a couple times Angel playing at the 4.
Yeah.
And have gone smaller, spread them out, beat them off the dribble, penetrate and kick, and gets a lot of players wide open shots. So I think one of the things, not only for management, everybody involved with this organization, was the way that they have constructed this team. And now you're getting to see the fruit of that labor.
One more before we get in. We got our guest there. We'll bring on in a minute. Real quick, Alex Bentley, her and Renee in that point guard ratio has been making it real tough for other points to come in here. Her defensive tenacity is something that you can leave on the floor. She also can shoot for range, and then you go in and you bring another one with Renee. It has to be tough for point guards every night to have to deal with those two on a day-to-day basis.
You just took my word, because both of those guards very tough.
Yeah.
Interchangeable. And like I said, if you take one off the floor, if you take Renee off the floor, Alex gives you, you don't skip a beat.
Yeah.
And I think she plays with just a little, barely, but she played with just a little more grit than Renee. And that's not
tough.
That's very tough because Renee is a dog.
Yeah.
I mean, she goes after it. But when you, again, to be able to take your starting point guard, usually you take your starting point guard out, production slips a little bit, the offense becomes just a tad bit stagnant. No, not with Alex.
Not with Alex.
Not with Alex.
This bench mob, we just going to keep enjoying them this year, coach, and hopefully we can keep it.
I think the one thing you talk about both those point guards, they both play downhill.
Yes.
So they basically put the defense on their heels.
Right.
And then both of them having the ability to knock down 3-point shots. No, Alex had been struggling, but she was able to see a couple of them go in at Minnesota. So hopefully that'll change the tide. But I think the most important thing is they both play downhill. They put defenses on their heels. They make great decisions with the basketball, and they're playing with a great level of confidence to where it's very hard for teams to match that over the course of the game.
All right, we're about to bring in our guest. Make sure to introduce our guest, man.
Listen, she has one of the best jobs in the city of Atlanta right now. This is her squad.
This is fun.
She put this together, and she told us
Yeah.
back when they made the change.
Yeah.
We will see this kind of productivity. Theresa Wenzel, please come join us at the table.
So, Theresa, just start off. Tell us your thoughts about where this team is at right now.
We're in a great place. I mean, this has been a really exciting year. With a win tonight, this is the quickest we will have clinched in a long time. 19-10. I think when you look at a head coach, first-year head coach, incredible staff, and a team that just buys in. Like, everybody sees it, feels it, and now it's fun because the people of Atlanta are actually getting behind it and embracing it. So it's really a special time. I tell people, we've heard us talk about winning championships. I don't say that. I say we're on the brink of something pretty special because this is just a special group, and Nikki has done a really good job leading in it.
Let me ask you this, Theresa, because we had this conversation when we did make the coaching change. I know you're going to be like, yeah, I saw this, but are you a little bit surprised at how quickly this thing turned?
I think everybody is, right? And so you knew that in making a change and bringing Nikki on is that first time head coaches, you have jitters, right? You have to experience things that you've never experienced. We were sitting with Renee at the All-Star game and had the conversation about why she made the change to Atlanta and is she surprised? And she said, I knew we were going to be good, but not this quick, right? And so, but again, I think that's just a credit not only to the coaching staff, but to the players as well. Because from top to bottom, from 1st to 12th, coaching staff, support staff, everybody's bought into it. And they're just having fun, and when you respect one another, when you play with trust, and when you're enjoying yourself, you can achieve a lot of really good things, especially with a talented squad.
In your role as president now, with the success that the team has had, how have you gotten your staff in regards to not only getting out in the community more, but more importantly, letting people know just how good this team really is?
I think that's an endless process, right? And so it's between the community events we do to more information on digital to getting more billboards, enlisting the people of Atlanta. Monica Pearson we had as an inspiring woman, and then she's helped us reach out to a lot of her colleagues and then introduce us to some other folks. So we're really just trying to run down every lead we can and get people engaged, because what I continue to hear is a lot of people don't completely know that there's a WNBA team here. And so that's something that why we work with our budgets and we work with advertising dollars is that we need the media of Atlanta to step up and help, and I continue to hear the same thing, like there's not a demand. And my question still becomes, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And so you can't tell me that young girls don't want to see this. You can't tell me it's not a great product. But because it's not something that still is normal for everybody, we've got to exhaust every possibility we have to get that brand out there.
But you did mention in the early comment that Atlanta is beginning to see a little bit better what's going on. What have been some of the things, like you said, Monica Pearson, what she's been able to do? What other things have you seen from the city of Atlanta in supporting this team?
Well, it's folks like Monica, it's entertainers that are putting it out there, it's pro players, NBA players coming to the games, right? It's the mayor's office stepping up and doing some things as far as reach out that is very helpful. And all of that is a combination that makes us more successful. So it's not a one thing, it's you have to touch across everything. In the off season, we've done more in the youth space, in the middle school space, because we want to build a younger fan. And when it becomes normal for the kids, the adults break down their barriers.
Right.
And so it's if the kid's interested in the middle school space for girls is such an instrumental space because they need to be taught confidence. They need to be taught how to be adventurous and take some risk. And as that becomes normal for them, it becomes normal for us as adults. Brittany Skikes, we did an interview with, and she was saying she's 24. Well, the W is 22 years old. She doesn't know life without the W.
Right.
And so that's the part where we really want, in the off season, want to be in that middle school space, because for the kids, it becomes easy and normal. We've also created the Junior Dream, and the Junior Dream touches ages 5 to 17, but it's an opportunity for the kids to come and have a very cost-effective ticket that gets them in the door, but also gets them a T-shirt, gets them a lanyard, and gets them on-court opportunities, fan experiences that they don't have to pay for.
And what's been interesting, I think, about last week's game, it was so loud and like everybody's catching on. And now when I look at a lot of the social media between the players in the league, Atlanta is starting to seem like, you know what, that might not be a bad spot to go when my contract is up.
Yeah, this facility is creates an intimacy that a lot of other facilities don't, right? And so the crowds have been electric. When we beat Seattle, I think it was, and our players got a standing ovation.
Yeah.
That was awesome, and so that just helps build their confidence, their cohesiveness, and to understand that people want to be part of it, and success breeds success.
Coach Reeve made a comment Sunday talking about the evolution of this team. I want you to expand on that a little bit, talking about where you've seen it from the first day of practice up to this point in regards not only to the development of the young players, but also the veterans that have come in.
Sure. So, as Nikki being a first-year head coach is one aspect, right? Mike and Darius didn't coach in the W. And so you have to learn your window of opportunity. We're playing 34 games in 92 days. So training camp is really the time that they have to put in all their plays and to get what they want from a playbook in there. You're developing the relationships with the players while also getting them to understand Nikki's style and what Nikki's looking for. As we continue to progress through training camp, this coaching staff and our players have done more prep work with video scouting. We as an organization put in tens of thousands of dollars into computers and video so that we could modernize how we approach scouting for a game. Because as we continue to get through the season, we don't get the practices. So the prep work has to come from the computers, and from understanding what the scouting report reads, and then with the trades that we made, while it was tough to lose Leja, and she was certainly a big part of our success last year, getting Alex back here has been huge for this team. And so I think everybody's learned their role a little bit better. It's been great because we don't have a player averaging more than 30 minutes. And when you're playing 34 games in 92 days, it becomes important that we have fresh legs. And they believe and they have confidence in one another. So, that's been neat to see because the coaches, again, have done enough stuff off the court as well as on the court to prepare this team to be in a really special place right now.
We are at the point now where one thing I credit this to the organization about, you never made excuses about the 34 games in 92 days. Everybody has to do it.
Sure.
And the team is bought in, the organization is bought in. Right now we're going through a pretty good home stretch. 3 games back to, it's like 1 day off, 1 day on. What do you want to see, what from a city aspect, what would you like for the city to come do? Because this is 3 big games that we have coming up, starting with tonight. Then we got LA Thursday, then we got Dallas Saturday.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's 6 games in 9 days, right?
Yeah.
And so, what I want to see from the city is the same thing I've seen from our team. No excuses. If it seems like every time we play at home it rains, bring your umbrella and get here.
Get on the road.
And so,
Let's go.
again, it's if you really want to see something special, this is a very talented team. You will learn a ton about the game of basketball, but you're going to have a lot of fun and it's very engaging. And so, similar to our team, don't make any excuses.
I got to ask about Coach Collins again because, again, from the first day we met her to now, it just seems like she's kept that same demeanor, but she got a little mean streak in her, and it shows. And not only in the losses but in wins as well. Just talk about now that you've seen her kind of in her role now. How impressed you are with her?
Yeah, I mean, she prepares, right? And so she's a relentless competitor. And so as you look at that, we had a stretch where we didn't have a lot of success before we got that 8-9 game win streak. And, as a coach, it changes your demeanor a little bit, right? And so Nikki's persona is positive, right? And highly competitive. And I'm like, Nikki, as coaches, and you guys hate to hear this, oftentimes you learn more from losses than you do from wins.
Right.
And it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And so she has really let her personality come out. I mean, that's why the players enjoy playing for her, is because she wants them to know how much she cares before how much basketball IQ she has. But she is a fierce competitor. And so win or lose, she wants to get after it. And, as a first-year head coach, she's got something to prove too. So it's a great time.
Coach, real quick, I want to talk about, Coach, you're a coach to us, but Dream Pink, this is the month, all month long.
Mm-hmm.
We have it going. You want to talk a little bit about it, what the initiative is?
Sure. So, Grady has been one of our best supporters throughout this, right, as far as a sponsor. And, the Breast Cancer Awareness Health Month is something that is really important to the WNBA. It's important to the Atlanta Dream. I think everybody probably has somebody that is just a touch point away from having breast cancer. And for us, the sponsorship is one part, the education's another part, and again, it's not about what happens to you, but how you respond. And so for every person that's experienced breast cancer, either directly or indirectly, we want to show them how to fight through it. We want to show them that they have a support unit, and we want to support our partners with Grady and making sure that people understand what an important partnership that is for us.
Awesome.
One last question from me. Theresa, can you talk about your 4 pillars and how those 4 pillars have been shown throughout the team throughout the course of this year?
Sure. So they're education, health and wellness, inspiring women, and diversity and inclusion. Let's start with health and wellness. I mean, one of the first things that Nikki came in was about the maintenance of the players. They take great pride with how they're maintaining their bodies. Likewise, they want to be able to teach our youth in Atlanta, if we can create a healthy kid, we can create a healthy adult. Right, and so that's not just what you eat and how you sleep, it's how you think and what you do. That comes into the education process, is that, every WNBA player either had to exhaust eligibility or graduate from college. We have a lot of young ladies that have significant educations that are wanting to be great role models for our kids. And it doesn't mean just the girls. I hear people say that all the time, but they're great role models for the boys as well. We do a reading program in October. We do a writing program in January with I Have a Dream campaign. Those are all things that are important to us. Inspiring women, those are our players, right? And so for each young kid to see our players as that person they can be, is important. And whether that's a college athlete, a college graduate, or a pro player, those are all our players. And diversity and inclusion, I think the Dream speaks, that's what the Dream is, right? And we've also started to create a relationship with Dr. Bernice King and the King Center. I think that's important for this team. What the Dream has meant to the city of Atlanta, well before this team was ever established, is really important. And so I think all of those 4 weave in and through every aspect of this organization, from a young kid through an adult, and through our fans.
Make sure you go ahead with this. I got 2 questions I want to end with. So you got anything else for?
Oh, you go ahead with your 2 questions. You threw me off.
So let me ask you this. My first question, the extension of Tiffany Hayes. That had to me, everybody's like, oh, that's a no-brainer. But some of these decisions had to be made. What are your thoughts about keeping Tiff as an Atlanta Dream?
I think it's imperative to the success of our organization. There's a lot of people that have been critical of Tiffany, on the court, sometimes her demeanor. Tiffany has a home here in Atlanta. A lot of her family lives here in Atlanta. What she has done for her organization, in the last couple of years has been impressive. And she continues to grow as an athlete. So for her to make that commitment and that buy-in to the Dream and to Coach Collin, I think speaks volumes of what the future of this organization means.
And today, big news clip that came out from WNBA that the team that we're playing tonight, Aces, forfeited their game against Washington, which means a lot because Washington gains a game in the playoffs. Being as high-ranking on you, what's your thoughts, or what have you heard from that, or if you can, tell us about it.
I really haven't reached out and had a lot of conversations about it. I'm surprised it took this long to get to this conclusion. I think there's a lot of folks that were surprised it took this long to get to this conclusion. I know there's a level of frustration that it came out on our game day.
Yeah.
And so from that standpoint, again, it's not about what happens to you, it's about how you respond. And so it is what it is, and we're going to come out and still play our basketball. And impacts Washington probably more than us. But at the end of the day is that, we all have roles and responsibilities, right? And so if you're not going to fulfill them, there are consequences for that, and that's just, it is what it is.
Last question. We'll send you on your way with this one. How much fun are you really having now?
Yeah.
Seeing how all this is shaking out now.
It's been enjoyable, right? So the first 2 years with this organization was kind of a reset, and it was, let's see the things that are going well and make them are good and move them to great. Let's get rid of the things that aren't working well and just get rid of them. But now watching people, all of it kind of come together has been great. The last component is filling the stands, But our team is fun to watch. They're great to be around. And I think that this city is one that's very fortunate that we're here, and I look forward to the folks of Atlanta really coming together because it is an amazing part of basketball to watch.
Playoff sounds good.
Let's go.
Let's get it. Thank you so much, as
Yeah,
always.
it's a pleasure, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Theresa Wenzel, everybody. Hey, man, come on in, man.
The best.
Oh, okay. Come on in. The shot's still good over there. The shot's still good, Hey, man, thank you, Theresa, again, for coming in and joining us. Tonight, make sure, what do you expect from the Aces? They do have a little something that came up today. What do you expect to them? They got the top pick of the draft. Asia in the building.
I'm going to use my football analogy. Team coming from the West Coast, coming all the way east. It's going to be a little tough on them. And I think the timing of that news that dropped today, and I was down on the floor early, and it's something a little different about the team.
Yeah.
They've been through a tough 48 hours. And so I think we need to just go on and jump on them early and just go on and get ready to send them back to McCarran out there.
Lou, you heard what the WNBA said. The Aces forfeited. It took them 4 days to come to this conclusion. When you're in a tight race like you are, Washington, every game that they gain is a win. I mean, that goes up to that. Your thoughts on when you heard that decision come down?
I agree with Theresa. I thought it was interesting that how long it took for the decision to come down, how it first came out on game day for that. But once again, when you are a growing business overall, there's just some things that, it's how you respond to it.
Yeah.
I'm curious tonight to see how Las Vegas comes out and responds. You have Tamara Young, who's a veteran, but you also have some young players here, Kayla McBride, Kelsey Plum, and Wilson as well. I think one of the most important things is our experience needs to come out early and attack the way that we've been attacking. And with that youth, it could possibly take and engulf them to a point to where they do not come back. But once again, with the young legs and young bodies, and there's no doubt in my mind there'll be a lot of South Carolina Gamecock fans out here.
Because Coach will be in the building tonight. She was already on Instagram saying, I'm headed to Coach
Man, we got to get out of here, man.
There you go.
Wait, so let me ask you though, man, that's what we're looking for the Dream tonight to do, because they counterattack. I want them to come out, not have no relaxed, go at these, get them out of their game and do what we do best, man, and win this game.
I think with the confidence they're playing with, I think they understand now, take care of business, get the bench involved, and let's relax.
Let's run through
I
them,
think
man.
they're really feeling it now. I think they can see it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is there in front of them. Like they can run the table.
And guys, I still have to point this point out. This team is so good right now that the all-star, the Olympian, hasn't really had to have big games this season to win the games for us.
Right.
I mean, the games she had big, we kind of don't win. But that's how balanced this team is. It's hard to stop when you got a Brittany Sykes coach coming off the bench. It's a lot to come at, man.
It says a lot about this organization and the game plan that they had, how they've gone out and been very particular on who they signed and who they traded away. I think more importantly, that stat is going to come back throughout the playoffs. The fact that not one player is averaging over 30 minutes a game could be something that helps your depth. But once again, as a former coach, I don't like to look too far down the road. I like to look at what's in front of me. And with Las Vegas, they're going to come in here, once again, with the youth. Sometimes they just don't understand, and they just come out and play the game. So, once again, the experience needs to take over early, get out and transition. Once again, with how Renee is the floor general and gets everybody involved. Tiffany off the dribble. Angel doing what she needs to do. But for me, more importantly, how is Jessica Breland and Elizabeth Williams going to come in and look to neutralize Wilson?
All right, make sure give me 2 players to watch out for from the Dream tonight. What you looking to see?
So I'm going to go with Renee Montgomery tonight. I think this is one of those games. This is a perfect Renee Montgomery game right here. I think a lot of the focus is going to be on Tiffany Hayes tonight. I think coach is going to, they think their coach, Mr. Lambier, is going to find ways to try to take her out, and I think this is where Renee steps up. And I also think Elizabeth Williams has a good game tonight.
Do you think our girl T.Y., who did you go, Angel or Tip?
I think she's gonna draw Tip
I
early.
think she go off Tip too. I think it'd be
Her
interesting.
length.
Yeah.
They're gonna need her length.
Which means Angel will be getting. We'll see, Angel.
Yeah.
We'll see. Your thoughts? What you looking? 2 players you looking to see tonight?
From the Dream, it's very simple. It's the 2. It's Jessica Breland and Elizabeth Williams. Because once again, they've had the task of having to guard some very talented post players in this league. And you start looking at Wilson, she's the next up and coming. So how's that youth versus their experience going to come out throughout the course of the game? Another one for me coming off the bench is always Alex Bentley. Now that she's seen her shot go in after a little bit of a shooting slump, does she come in and once again keep attacking and making the aces play on their heels and having to do some rotations they're not accustomed to?
Of course, my man, I go with Tip Hayes. I want to see not only on offense, I want to see what you do against. Kelsey Plum hasn't had the greatest start to her career, but I see if Tip does something to take advantage of that matchup today. And I always go with the benchmark, man. And I would go with our girl Imani. She has played, but being able to switch people on Asia will make a difference.
Yep.
And now when you just come out, now you bring 6'7" on top of it. I got to deal with 6'7" now. I just dealt with 6'4", and I got to deal with 6'7". You keep bringing that, and just seeing those 2 tonight. What you about to say, Coach?
No, I was getting ready to say with Tiffany Hayes, I look for her to guard Kayla McBride.
Probably.
With the 19 points, with the 45%, 42% from 3-point range. I mean,
But I also like the points on her too. Yeah, you put Alex on it. That's what's great about this team. You can put many on there. But tonight's matchup, we're going to watch to see who T.Y. guards. Tamara Young, our girl who played here last year, to see if she goes at the Angel first or does she go at Tip. That's going to be big to see what Lambier does with her. So, gentlemen, I appreciate y'all time, guys.
Let's do it.
Hey, man.
this guy over here, he has more people that text in questions and all that stuff. I mean, Mr. Social Media over there himself.
Listen, just doing my job.
Yes,
In these streets.
Hey, man, for Theresa Wenzel, thanks for coming
They're
on.
talking.
Makes you heard.
Shout out to Malik. Ice Trade the Game.
For Lewis, Ice Trader Game, Malika over
Kennedy.
there.
Skirt,
Did it.
skirt.
Thanks to for Kennedy. That's our show for today. We thank the Atlanta Dream for allowing us to play and record it here, man. We thank you guys. Have a good one. Go Dream. We'll see y'all later.